stated, and I quote, "These PCR tests cannot detect three infectious viruses at all." In addition, the CDC themselves have admitted that the PCR test does not take into account bacterial infection or co-infections with other viruses. You should be very disturbed by this information, especially since everything we're doing is based on a faulty test. If you never worn a mask for the common cold, influenza, whooping cough, pneumonia, tuberculosis, ask yourself, why are you wearing one now? Out of the 493 hospitals in Ontario, there's an average of less than one COVID-19 patient. Did you know that the majority of COVID-19 deaths in Canada were not actually from COVID-19? In fact, if you died of cancer or cardiovascular disease and COVID-19 just happened to show up in your system, your death will say COVID-19. Our government is conditioning us into accepting full lockdown with no intentions of easing up. People carry the illusion that things will get better. I assure you they won't. Unless we stand up against tyranny, they will continue with their ridiculous and unjust measures. Have you noticed a pattern over the last several months? They start off innocently, claiming that it'll only be for a couple weeks until the curve is flattened. Then they start announcing closures of parks, gyms, movie theaters, and eventually all restaurants. Before you know it, you'll be isolated from your family and friends and made to feel guilty for leaving your home. This is called conditioning. This is not the kind of world I want for my kids. I think deep down, many of us know that there's something very wrong and sinister going on. We're losing our humanity and connection with others by the minute. By keeping us away from each other, we'll be easier to control. And what's the secret formula? Simple. Fear and propaganda. Sweden's current death rate for COVID-19 has been very minimal over the last few months. But surely they must wear masks and social distance, right? No, they don't. So here we are, bankrupting our country, while other countries like Sweden seem to have everything under control, with no restrictions. One thing's for sure, if another lockdown occurs, we'll most likely annihilate half of Ontario's small businesses. When it comes to children, they should not be forced to wear masks, especially all day in school. It is not healthy nor helping to keep them safe. Having a child isolated and being told to social distance themselves from others will have untold psychological and physiological effects. Their mask will dehumanize them, increase their anxiety, and reduce their ability to bond with their teacher. When a child is in a constant state of fear and anxiety, they're not learning. They're being socially conditioned to be afraid and follow orders. Here's something you won't see in the news. A German laboratory examined face masks previously worn by children for around 8 hours. The examination detected 92 bacterial colonies and 4 mold colonies. Yeah, pretty scary, isn't it? We keep hearing it's better to be safe than sorry. But what's the sorry part? Well, how about 250,000 small businesses that will never recover from the lockdown? Or what about the mothers and fathers who lost loved ones to suicide? Or how about the 200,000 people denied surgery or cancer screenings because of this so-called pandemic? I want you to answer honestly. Do you really want to live in a world where there's no hugging, no face, no working, no free movement, no asking questions, no visiting family, no funerals, no weddings, birthdays, no parties, behave like you're sick, crash the economy, and spike in suicides and drug overdoses? This is not a protest against masks, but rather the unjust and harmful lockdown measures we're forced to endure. We have better things to do on a Saturday afternoon. Sitting on the sidelines while our country gets destroyed is just not an option. Know your rights, protect your rights, or they will take your rights. For anyone listening, if you're interested in fighting for your rights and freedoms, please join us every Saturday at 12 p.m. Yonge and Dundas. Rain or shine, all are welcome. To you about COVID-19. Contrary to what you might think, we are not in the middle of a pandemic. The media has been spreading fear and propaganda since day one. They lied to you when they said the curve would be flattened in 2 weeks. They lied to you when they said everyone would be treated equally during this so-called pandemic. Well, that's simply not the case. Especially when you learn that the CEO of Costco was allowed to skip his 14-day quarantine period. If the virus was such a threat, do you think they'd allow for these special privileges? What they're really saying is if you're not important, you can suffer like everyone else. But tell that to the 250,000 small businesses who will never recover from this lockdown. Tell that to the mothers and fathers who lost loved ones to suicide. Or how about the 200,000 people who had canceled surgeries and screenings because of this so-called pandemic? As our government continues stripping us, fellow Canadians, people of Toronto, we are here to expose the lies and corruption of our government and mainstream media regarding COVID-19. The media is using lies to induce fear and alter people's perception. They have us convinced that we're in the middle of a pandemic and in immediate danger, even though the survival rate for COVID-19 is 99.8%. In fact, the majority of deaths come from long-term care facilities, and the people who died of COVID-19 had an average of 2.5 pre-existing medical conditions. Our government also has us convinced that thousands of healthy people are in fact sick. But does anyone find it odd that the majority of those people who test positive for COVID-19 are healthy people showing zero